The purpose of the internal analysis is to identify the company's abilities or disabilities to conduct one or several projects. To do this, 3 questionnaires must be completed: BMC maturity, financial analysis, and internal assets. Let's start with the BMC maturity. For each item proposed, you have to define the level of clarity and control you have. Thus, if everything is clear and precise, you give 5 stars. If you have no visibility on the item, you give 0 stars. It is important to comment on your answers for the record and to obtain relevant deliverables in the Strategeex platform. The radar on the right side of your screen gives you a summary of your answers. What guides you in your evaluation is the color of the sticker in your BMC. If everything is okay, then the sticker should be green. If nothing has been worked on, then it is still in yellow. If you are still working, it is in red. Let's now explore the different items proposed through the trousseau case, and more specifically the connected plate project and the spa segment. The first item concerns the cost structure. It is a question of knowing if all the questions related to the bottom of the left part of the BMC have been dealt with. In the case which serves as an illustration, our 2 stickers are in red. We are in the process of reflection. We have therefore put 3 stars. The second item concerns the partners. Have you identified them? Contacted them? Do they still have secrets for you? In our example, there is no green sticker, there are even yellow post-it. There is still a lot to do, so we have given 2 stars to this item because we have no in-depth contacts. The third item concerns the revenue model. Have you identified your entire business model? Have you worked out the revenue streams for each segment? In our example, if the possible forms have been identified, nothing is decided and specified yet, so we only give 3 stars. The fourth item concerns resources. Are they identified? Which ones are essential to the production of your value proposition? For the example of trousseau, we are in the process of selecting our resources. We have evaluated their costs. Our progress is proven, so we assign 4 stars to this item. The fifth item concerns the key activities. Are they identified? Are they already present in your value chain? Which ones are the most important to achieve your value proposition? For the example of trousseau, most of our stickers are still in red, so they are still being processed, but we already have some information. We give this item 3 stars. The sixth item concerns client relationships. Have you identified the possible types of relationship? What is the cost involved? In our example, we have identified the different possibilities, but nothing is specified yet. The stickers are still in yellow. We give 2 stars to the item. The seventh item concerns the distribution channels. Have you identified the possible channels? Which channels are preferred by customers? Have you evaluated their effectiveness and efficiency? What is the cost involved? In our example, we have identified different possibilities, but nothing is specified yet. The stickers are still in yellow. We give 2 stars to the item. The eighth item concerns the value proposition. Is it clearly and precisely identified? What is the additional value you propose? What needs or pains are you addressing? Have you precisely defined this value proposition for the segment? In our example, the value proposition is still under development, but for the spa segment, the value is precisely identified. We can therefore attribute 4 stars to this item. The ninth item concerns the customer segments. Are they all identified? Is the one treated by the questionnaire well mastered and understood? Have you clearly identified their expectations? In our example, we have made progress on the study of the spa segment, but it is not totally completed. We give 4 stars. Once you have answered the questionnaires about the maturity of your BMC, it is time to move on to the financial analysis of the project. In order to complete this questionnaire, you need to master certain financial concepts. We will therefore take the time to remind you of them. First of all, the turnover. It corresponds to the sales made, that is the volume sold multiplied by the real selling price, which is to say deducted discounts. Profitability is generally measured by the operating result, which corresponds schematically to the difference between the turnover and the resources necessary for the realization of the sales, salaries, purchases of materials, depreciation of the material, etc. The cash flow is the net cash flow over the period. It corresponds to the self-financing capacity, that is the generated result minus the necessary investments and the financing of the working capital requirements, stock, customer credit. The development budget are the expenses for R&D and product development. And the investment. In general, these are the material resources, machines, tools, buildings, that the company must invest to produce the products it sells. The IRP or internal rate of profitability reflects a trade-off between financing the development of the project or investing this money in the financial markets. It will allow financial analysts, once they have considered the level of risk, to make a decision. In a simplified way, we consider that the IRP must be higher than the average remuneration on the financial markets, plus a risk premium. It therefore evolves according to the economic situation and the maturity of the project. In fact, the expected IRP depends mainly on the development phase of the project since the risk decreases with the progress. In early stage, startup phase, we expect an IRP around 30%. In go-to-market, at the time of market launch, an IRP around 15 to 20% is expected. In the phase of strong development on the market, scalability, we expect an IRP of around 5 to 10%. The whole point of piloting one's innovation portfolio with Strategeex is to propose to reduce the risk from the early stage phase, and therefore to reduce the risk premium. In our example, the spa segment offers an IRP of 31% which, considering the economic context and the risk reduction work in progress, makes the project attractive for an investor. We still must fill in one last questionnaire, the one on internal assets. It is a question of seeing if the company has the necessary assets for the development of the project to reach the studied segment. It is your knowledge of the company that allows you to evaluate each item. Beware of cognitive biases, overconfidence, overpessimism. Always try to make this evaluation with an exchange with other members of your company to limit these risks. The more you master, the more stars you put. Always remember to comment on your evaluations for the record and to have quality feedback. Let's now explore each of the different items proposed through the trousseau case, and more particularly the connected plate project and the spa segment. The first item concerns the control of the technology. It is about knowing if the company has the necessary know-how or not. In our example, we have chosen to put 3 stars because, even if we master a part of the technology, another part will be outsourced. The second item concerns the scalability of the solution, in other words, the ability to scale up to large quantities without any particular bottleneck. In our example, we decided to put 4 stars because there are many opportunities around the monetization of data, collected from other market segments, such as pharmaceutical laboratories for example. The third item concerns the performance of the solution. It is about knowing how it is evaluated, compared, etc. In our example, we have put 3 stars because we are still in the testing phase and a certain number of points are still to be clarified. The fourth criterion concerns the agility your company is capable of during the development of the project, ability to respond to customer expectations, responsiveness to their remarks. In our example, we have put 2 stars because we still have a limited reactivity. The fifth criterion concerns the intimacy of your sales representatives with your customers, their ability to co-construct with them and so on. In our example, we have given 3 stars because our sales representatives have built relationships, which are not yet real customer intimacy, in particular by participating in numerous events. The sixth item concerns the ability to mobilize technical expertise, human capital, partners, etc., to improve the offer. The question is whether this expertise is easily mobilized or rare. In our example, we have put 4 stars because we have strong contacts with representatives of spa chains. The last item concerns the synergies with other segments of the company, the possibility of mobilizing the technology in other markets. In our example, we put 0 stars because it is a totally new project based on a totally new technology for the company. With this questionnaire, we have completed the work with the Strategeex platform. In fact, it must be repeated for each segment of each project. Once this is done, we can pay attention to the results. This is the object of the next activity.